One. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Misty Bay. So we're just going to pick it up right where we left off. As usual. Nothing too crazy here. Just taking a quick look at our cities, our town. Just overlooking it. Yeah. Real nice. Things are coming along together easily, smoothly, and we don't stress. Most of all, we do not stress. Nothing is achieved through stress. Got a few abandoned buildings over there, but that's okay. That's okay. Thinking about putting a stop in here at this shopping center. If it will let us. If it will let us. There we go. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. I think maybe we'll get a couple homes back here behind the travel lodge there. And by homes, I'm thinking apartment complexes. Nothing tall. Just a few taller apartment buildings to fill in the skyline. There's nothing like staying at a hotel where you think you're going to get a nice mountain view, and then in actuality you get a whole bunch of apartment buildings looking at you. Drives you nuts. That's life. Just trying to decide on the look and the size of these buildings we want to get in here. This is one of my favorites, but I don't think we'll get it in here this time. These need to be a little farther back to the road. It feels like some of this stuff needs to take up more space in order for it to feel natural. So I think we'll put a little road here that offsets these buildings. And then we'll pack in a few apartments in behind this travel lodge. See this all the time in real life. All the time. Need to scooch these over just a hair. To get a fifth one in here. Just a hair, like I said, nothing crazy. There we go. Scooch this one over another hair too. Just a hair. We don't like to move things too crazy. Just put it into place. There we go. You think you're going to stay at a nice apartment, to stay at a nice hotel, get a mountain view. And nope, you get to look at apartments. Some call it evil. I call it funny, ironic, and realistic. I almost forgot about putting the windmills inside the fields here. This is something you see in Ontario, Canada. We pay our farmers to put these in their fields. We actually pay them to do it. And so we're going to simulate that realistic look by doing a similar idea. And there we go. There's no stress here. Just doing what we have to in order to get the look we're going for. No stress. I can't stress that enough. I can't stress that enough. Got a bit of residential demand now. Don't know what we're going to do to meet that, but we're not going to stress too hard about it. Everything's coming together real smoothly, slowly, nicely. Got quite the pollution going on from our waste facilities. It's really polluted the water here. This is all short term, just short term. Things will change. Things will change. One of the things I admire about this map is the coastline I've built. I really like how it interacts with the land. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. This is all a floodplain, so anybody who gets this map will soon realize that messing with the water will cause catastrophic city failure. And we're going to notice that someday soon when we get manipulating the water here for our harbors and stuff. Lots of future problems to deal with, but not problems we have to worry about now. So we want to develop all of this industry into into residential, or something other than this just generic dirty industry anyways. Be nice to get the next another tile unlocked here, but it's what it is. We can't let it stress us out, can't let it bother us. We got the space we got to work with. Got to do what we got to do. There's going to be another town over there someday. When we get the tiles over there. It's going to take a long while, but someday. And then Riverton's going to come all the way up to here and past this river and past this rail line. It's going to be quite a big region. It's going to be the biggest town, city, whatever you want to call it on the map. It's going to be the main one. And then all the other little towns are just to service it. Just letting the game play. Just letting the game play. Let it decide what it's going to do. Let it decide. We don't have to decide this. It'll decide itself what it wants us to do. We don't stress around here. There's no reason for it. Absolutely no reason for it. Stress does not solve anything. Stress just hurts us. Just hurts us. So we got quite a bit of residential demand now that we waited for a little while. And I think we'll go about filling that. It's quite important. We need to get to the next city size, so we can get our tiles unlocked. So meeting this residential demand will hopefully get us there. This is our target. This is our goal. We need more space. We need way more space. So we have a little space back here behind this park to add in a little bit of residential. So I think we'll go about doing that, figuring out how we want to get that in here. We don't want to offload cars onto that main road, so we'll use these side roads. I think we'll get a little fence in here to determine where we're going to get zoning, as we normally do. Just checking out something with the buses there real quick. And then, yeah, back to putting this fence in here. Yeah. There we go. Get the right tools activated here. And there's mods to control zoning, but I find that it's a bit buggy. I have it installed, but I find it's a bit buggy and often, very often, will not hold on to the zoning that you've requested. So this is just a better way of getting the game to function. Again, another function versus realism, function versus form. We want to preserve as much functionality in this city as we can using the game mechanics without having to use mods. We don't want to get too crazy with mods because mods break cities. Break cities, absolutely do. We want to be able to play this for the long term. Million different ways to play this game, and that's the best part about it. There's no right way. No right way. Every way you do it just gives you a different outcome, different look, different feel. As always, we forgot to put water through here, so we'll have to go back through and put the water in. But we don't let it stress us out. There's no reason for it. Stress does not solve anything. Stress does not solve anything. We have some death care issues here we're going to have to deal with. Maybe we'll put another cemetery in here. It would be really nice to get crematoriums. I think that comes with the next city size. So we'll have to probably wait for that. But in the meantime, we'll just increase the number of cemeteries we have. That way there's more vehicles available for picking up dead bodies. Just going through and getting rid of these abandoned buildings. Make room for new buildings to spawn in. This is mostly due to the death care not being dealt with properly, and we would really need the crematoriums to get this dealt with, so we're going to have to wait patiently for that to happen. Make room for the city to grow. Make room for the city to grow. This should help really a lot with the death care situation, putting a cemetery in here. Yeah. A few abandoned homes still. Just gotta deal with that. No city is perfect, I've said this before, and we don't want a perfect city. We want a realistic, realistic-ish. One that's a compromise between realism and game functionality, because there's a few things in the game you have no choice but to do in order to get the game to function properly. And that's what it's about, getting the game to play and getting a realistic look. In my opinion, that's what I'm going for. As always, there's no right way. There's absolutely no right way. Got a couple of abandoned buildings here. Now these are historical, so we're going to reset them rather than delete them and wait for them to respawn. It's just a death care problem. Just a death care problem. It'll solve itself. Real simple. Just like that. Just like that. That should solve the death care issue. Let's hope. We're so close to getting our new milestone for city size. So close. So close. Maybe we can get a few high density buildings in here. A few high density buildings in here. A real death care problem, but I think that's going to be solved here shortly. Just going to take time. Just going to take time. We're so close to a big city. Get a couple more cemeteries in. The cemeteries that are servicing Riverton have to travel a long way to service on the Watu, so we'll get a few more over there. So we don't have that problem. Forgot to connect water here. A few little things. Should all start to sort itself. All should start to sort itself. The game plays itself. It really does. It really does. We don't have to do a whole lot. We just gotta manage the outcomes of what the city needs and where we build it. That's all we're doing. We're not getting crazy here. Not getting crazy. Just trying to see where we could put some density based on land value. Land value is a good indicator of where to put high density. It kind of says, this is the most expensive land, so if a house is here, it's going to cost a lot for somebody to live here. So it would make more sense to densify it, or the person that owns it to put a big apartment complex on it. Just my thought. I don't know. I could be wrong. This is just the way I do things, just to get the look I'm going for. See, whereas these ones here currently are low income, high density. Right behind this travel lodge. Much different than some of the developments in Riverton. So I think we'll get a few more residential housing back here. Get a little gated community perhaps. Yeah, one of our traditional little gated communities that we like to do. It's going to be a tiny one, a very tiny one. But it'll hopefully fill in some of this need and get us that much closer to our goal of the next city size, city milestone. Simple little square. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. We don't want to make it easy for these roads to get through here, for people to drive through. This isn't a cut through. This is just access roads. Get our little fence around it so we know where the zoning needs to go, where we don't want zoning. We don't want cars offloading off the main road. They have to turn down the side roads into the subdivision to access their home. Yep, nothing crazy here. Nothing crazy at all. Just easy, simple. Easy and simple. One more step closer to our goal. One more step. Almost gonna hit that milestone. And these abandoned buildings are just an educational issue again. I realize that I put them in a little early, a little soon, but that's okay. It'll work itself out as time progresses here. Educated workers will arrive or become educated while they're here. We have everything they need to be educated to that degree in order to work in the offices. There's no university, but there's a library which allows them to upgrade their education all on their own. So like I said, we're focused on redeveloping this area into more of a focused industry area or perhaps a residential area. We'll see. We don't want any more of this dirty generic industry in this side of the city anymore. We really want to get rid of that. Want to get rid of all of these coal plants and oil plants as well, but that's time to come. All time to come. When we get our next tile, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of all of the dirty industry as much as we can anyways over here. Yeah, things are coming together real nice, real simple. Really does look like what I'm going for. It's got the look. It's what I want. Gonna get another farm in here. And again, this is controversial. People say, we should make it all one farmland, like one farm zone, but I don't know. That's just not how I see it working. These little zone starters are just little farm homes. So each farm would have its own little home. Make this an animal product. Animal pastures for animal product. We're going to need lots of animal products. We're going to have lots of farms. Lots of unique factories that need animal products. We don't get crazy here. We don't drive ourselves nuts. We just build things and then we deal with the outcomes later. There's no perfect city, no perfect town. Figure everything out as it comes. Figure it all out as it comes. There's a million ways to do things. No one right way. And that's the key to remember with this game. Do what you want to get the outcome you're looking for. This is just how I build my city to get the look I'm going for. There's no right way. There's no right way. Many times I may sound like it's the only right way, but I really can't stress enough that there's no right way to building a city. It's about figuring out how you want to build your city and figuring out how to deal with the outcomes of those actions you take. Each outcome will have a different result, meaning you'll have to deal with it in your own unique way. That's all it means. That's all it means. I've set myself up some rules. My own rules, not these rules are the only rules. These are just the rules I'm following. And by setting ourselves up with these rules, we get a predictable or somewhat predictable outcome for a lot of the issues we're going to find, which allows us to manage it without stressing. But each town and each city is going to have its unique little things you're going to have to figure out as time goes on. And you're not going to know. You're not going to know. And this is one of the reasons I don't like starting off with all the highways, overdeveloped highways, because you don't know where your highway entrances and exits are going to need to be, because you don't know the demand of your city. You don't know where things need to go yet. It hasn't told you. Starting off this way just allows you to naturally find what your city needs, what your city wants, and you get a more natural outcome. And that's what we're going for. A natural city progression. Nothing with too much pre-planning. There's a little pre-planning here and a little pre-planning there, but nothing too crazy, nothing in the future, nothing past, a few years in the game. A few years in the game. Most cities you find in real life, they've only got a little bit of development pre-planned for the future. 5, 10, at most 20 years. In some projects, they will be 20 years and they might come through. But many projects that get planned don't end up happening. Things change in a city. Demands change. What people want, what the town requires. It all changes. And so land use just changes over time. What might have been a subdivision at first ends up becoming a commercial zone because nobody needs the town. The town doesn't need the people. It needs the jobs. You never know, right? So at first they thought they needed the people, so they marked it as residential zoning, and then they realized they needed the commercial, so it gets changed. It happens all the time. So we'll get a elder care service in here and a few daycare services or child care services, whatever you want to call them. Get one over here and one or two over here and on the Watu, and we'll get a few over in Riverton. And this increases health care of your citizens, which is important. It is. You want to maximize the space this is covering. Get it in a kind of a central location here. Get one over here. I don't want them too close to any crazy, dirty things, but we don't have a lot of space to work with, so we're going to have to just suck up some of this OCD I have and rules I've set and break a few of them. Good spot right there. I think that'll be a good coverage. Nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy at all. We used some of this parkland, and I think that would be something the town would be okay with. Donating some parkland to a child care service like that. I think so. Yep. So maybe we'll start another little farm here. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll start another little farm here. On the Watu's going to have a lot of farms, and there's going to be a few in Riverton. A few in Riverton. We'll see how the outskirts of this city, this town, whatever you want to call it, look. We're not getting too crazy ahead of ourselves, but yeah, generally speaking, this is where it on the Watu is going to be a lot of farming. Riverton's going to have a lot of dirty industry, specialized industry that's going to require animal products, a lot of crops, a lot of animal products, a lot of crops. The map is only so big, so there's only so many people you can fit on the map, which means there's only so much work that you can provide and so many people you can fit in. So there's a debate that if you keep placing all this farmland, you're never going to have industry demand or any other kind of demand for any other jobs. I beg to differ. I really do, because as towns change, you're going to delete some of this, which means you're going to need to build it somewhere else. And you're always going to need more people and more jobs. It's just the way things go. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's one of the things I miss from SimCity 3000 is the farming and the way it was set up. It was a lot better. You just highlighted a section that you wanted to be farmland, and it filled the whole section in with one farm. It seemed a little bit more realistic in the way it functioned, but that's not the game we're playing. We're playing City Skylines, and this is how the farms in this game work, so that's what we're going to do. I remember the days before the Industry Pack came out, the DLC came out. It was a hard game to play. Or not hard game to play, just hard to get that look of a rural town. And you used to have a lot of mods to get it to look like that. And then the Industry update just really changed that. So I should be thankful for what we get. Should be thankful for what we get. Because before the Industry DLC, it was pretty tough to make a realistic looking farm without using mods. We're just waiting for the game to tell us what we need, but I think we're coming close to the end here for the day. I don't think we can get much more into the time we have today, so we'll see if there's anything real quick we can get done here in the time we have left. Maybe get another quick little farm going here. Yeah. I think we have time to fit one more farm in here, or get it started anyways for us next time. Yeah, I think we'll have the time. We'll have the time today to get just a little farm in here. Maybe even just the farmhouse and a few fields. Nothing crazy. Get it started. We can always pick it up next time. We'll always pick it up another time. And that's another reason I don't like use a lot of mods, because I never know when I'm going to pick it up and play and not play. And when you have a lot of mods, it can mean that you lose a save and you can never play it again. And I don't like that, because you never know when you want to play again. Never know when you want to come back and just grow a city from a year ago or 2 years ago. You never know. I have so many cities that have been lost. So many. Some of my very first cities I'll never be able to open again. Anyways, so I think we'll leave that there for today. And as always, bye.